everyone, welcome back to StriUnfiltered. How are you all? Thank you again for joining us back. और उसके अलावा आज हमारा सबसे पहला स्टोरी जो है हम रिवील करने वाले हैं और वो स्टोरी है महिमा की. Of course, the founder of StriUnfiltered. So hello, hi Bhabi, where are you? I can't see you.
Hi, Vijayta. Give me a minute. I'm just switching on my camera. Hi, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us again today. How are you doing, Vijayta?
Yes, I'm absolutely fine. How are you?
All good, thanks. So,
Okay,
guys, without wasting any time, let's get started.
एब्सोल्युटली सो ऑफ कोर्स बात कहानी की है, आपकी स्टोरी की है, और हाउ योर स्टोरी इज अनफिल्टर्ड. पीपल वुड लव टू नो दैट बिकॉज यू आर द फाउंडर एंड वी आर गोइंग टू मोटिवेट सो मेनी अदर वुमेन थ्रू आवर स्टोरी. सो भाभी, आई रियली वांट टू आस्क यू, हाउ वाज योर चाइल्डहुड?
So I think right now, जितने लोग भी मुझे जानते हैं, all of them know me as very extrovert kind of a person, always speaking and blabbering out. I'm not the person who is quiet in the room. But believe me, at home, I was always a very bubbly person, always talkative. But when I was in school, I was a more studious and shant kind of person. And believe me, most of my schoolmates would not even remember my name because I was not that famous. People will know me as लड़की है जो थोड़ा अच्छा पढ़ती है. शी इज गुड इनफ, इंटेलिजेंट है, नॉट द टॉपर्स जो फर्स्ट या सेकंड आ रही हो, थर्ड फोर्थ तक आ जाती है, पढ़ाई में अच्छी है, बट एकदम चुपचाप शांति से कोने में पड़ी रहती है. Literally, I had one or two friends and I would stick to those friends, not talking to many people. And so I giving a little background about people who doesn't know about this. Like, I belong to a Baniya family, and we have this jumbo size family where my papa has five brothers and five sisters. So we are a family of 10 brothers and sisters, and then each of them having their own 3 kids or 2 kids. So you can imagine the size of a family. एक छोटा सा get together या birthday party भी होता है तो we minimum have 70 guests in the house. तो इतने लोगों का मिनिमम खाना होता है. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस साइज ऑफ द फैमिली, सब कजिन्स थे और किसी ना किसी की शादी हर दूसरे तीसरे महीने होती रहती थी, कुछ ना कुछ फंक्शंस, मैरिजेस होते थे. तो my cousins live very nearby to me. Like, we used to live in a house जहाँ एक के पास एक सारे घर हुआ करते थे. And my cousins were my only best friends. Like, my didis, my cousins over my age, I used to share everything with them. And for me, that was a whole friend circle that I had. I literally had a non-existent kind of a friend circle in school, जहाँ पे मुझे सिर्फ टिफिन शेयर करने के लिए कोई फ्रेंड्स है कि अच्छा इनके साथ मैं टिफिन शेयर करती हूँ. I hardly talk to them because मुझे जितनी बातें करनी होती थी, I was satisfied enough with having the cousins, and I did not feel the need to have more friends in the school because I was very quiet. I didn't know how to talk to anyone and that, and which is very surprising for people who know me right now today, because they cannot believe I would be such a kind of a person. So my school friends still would not remember my name. They might remember my face. That too has changed a lot with so much weight gain. But believe me, hardly would anyone remember me. I'm not in touch with most of them, one or two friends, except one or two. So that is the whole scenario. But yes, I was always very lovely, always laughing, never complaining. This is the kind of person. I mean, अभी भी मुझे लोग बोलते हैं कि तुझे कभी गुस्सा आता था क्या जीवन में? I mean, वैसा scenario that now I'm like this grumpy person sometimes. So lot has changed, but my childhood was completely opposite of what I am today.
Absolutely. I mean, I can see the contrast, what you are telling me about your childhood and what I have seen you like since the last 10, 12 years now. So, yeah. So, this was like your childhood. So, coming from a Banya family, how did you manage to tell your parents that you have your ambitions, you have some agendas in life, and I really want to fulfill it? How did you came out to your parents कि नहीं मुझे पढ़ाई करनी है या मुझे कुछ अचीव करना है लाइफ में? Because coming from a conservative family, I have seen your family. So it's generally कि ठीक है शादी हो गई अभी घर संभालो बच्चे देख लो and not many women in your family are working, if I'm not wrong.
That's true. So I think it's the other way around. My mother is very progressive. She comes from a progressive family. My father's family was not so much progressive. So mother, because she was not able to accomplish anything in life where she was working,
Mm-hmm.
which was an inherent dream, that because she was again very forward, she was very extrovert in nature. So she had
Mm-hmm.
an ambition that at least if I was not able to do anything in my life, I'll make sure my daughter is independent, she is working, and she goes ahead and
Absolutely.
study higher. And fortunately, I was a good student. As I told you, fourth, fifth तो आ ही जाती
Yeah.
थी, not among the toppers. Fourth, fifth आ
Yeah.
जाती थी. So my parents had a dream of me becoming a doctor, frankly. So my father wanted
Oh,
me to become a doctor. And
okay.
my mother was like, कुछ भी करो, but कुछ करो. Don't just sit idle and have kids in life and be a
Yeah.
housewife, but kuch karo. So it was the
Yeah.
other way around. So I was born and brought up in a way that you have to become something in life. You cannot just sit and
Right.
have kids. And that is how I grew up. And so I'll tell you one more secret is, when I was in 10th, I was very fascinated by pilots. So I think because of the dresses,
Oh,
because of the planes, fighter jets,
yeah.
I wanted to become a pilot. And I
Wow.
have my best friend, her name is Megha, and uncle was a doctor. So being from a family where no one was, everyone is a businessman, so nobody knew anything
Right.
about any stream, what studies they have to do. And आज तो we have so many counselors, there are people to reach
Absolutely.
out to, and Google पे कि अच्छा ये course करना है तो you have to opt for this subject, or this is the path you have to go forward. For me, he was one of my mentor. He came one day to my house, and then I told him I want to become a pilot. And he said, if you want to become a pilot, you have to take math science. That is one of the subjects that you have to take. So
Right.
eventually, because of his suggestion that I have to become a pilot, so I have to take math science. So I took math science. I completed
Yeah.
my 11. And then along with all my friends, they started giving the exam for PET, which is a pre-entrance test for engineering.
Right.
एंड आई थॉट ठीक है, अभी गर्ल्स के लिए तो एनीवे वी डोंट हैव एन एनडीए की 12th के बाद करना है. तो लोगों ने मुझे
Right.
सलाह दी, व्हाई डोंट यू डू योर इंजीनियरिंग एंड आफ्टर दैट यू गो फॉर बीइंग अ पायलट एंड ऑल.
Yeah.
I said, okay, let's
Aeronautics.
go with the flow. I went ahead with the flow. I gave my PET. I got into an engineering college. Fortunately, I got placed during my in the campus itself. I got placed into TCS, and my
Yeah.
professional journey started, never looking back. And I still have that, you know, regret that why didn't I go for my dream? But I think that dream somehow died on the path of becoming an engineer and working and all that. But that is the whole
Yeah.
secret behind becoming an engineer, which was never the plan. But I never wanted to
Right.
become a doctor. It was only my father's
Yeah.
vision of me becoming a doctor.
Actually, I think fathers generally have this, very secure dream for their daughters. You know, कि नहीं नहीं ये बैंक की नौकरी इसके लिए अच्छी रहेगी या फिर डॉक्टर बन जाएगी, एक सिक्योर है और सब अच्छा रहेगा,
Hmm.
छुट्टियां मिल जाती है, मतलब दे ऑलवेज थिंक वेरी लाइकली
I
फॉर
think
देयर
the main
डॉटर्स की.
concept is, अगर डॉक्टर है तो घर पे बैठ के भी एक क्लिनिक खोल लेगी, and she
राइट.
doesn't need to go out. And it is a very noble profession for them. I think this is one
यस.
of the reasons in India, doctors are one of the most noble professions, and people, specifically parents, feel very pride telling that my
या या
daughter or my son is a doctor. I mean,
एब्सोल्युटली.
still, if you ask a parent if their one daughter or child is a doctor and another one is an engineer, they will find more pride in telling about the one who is a doctor.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. I completely agree to this. So this is how you became what you are today. I mean, you are traveling all over the places, and you are doing such a great job at your workplace. So how are your colleagues or your bosses have been so far?
I think I have been really fortunate, and I think I am very lucky to have, wonderful supporting managers throughout my career.
Hmm.
All the managers that I've worked with, whether it was at TCS or Deloitte or even currently my manager, I think they understand the issues or barriers or biases that women face. And I think because of that, I've got additional chances in my life. You know, sometimes I
Wow,
feel that as a
that's.
woman, many women say that as a woman they don't get the privileges as a man. But I will
I
say
was coming to
it's
that.
it's
Ki,
on the contrary, because many
Mhm.
times your managers feels that there are so less women in the field of technology, right? Even if
Right.
they are there, they would just do more of a clerical job or back-end jobs, and not women are coming forward and doing the presentations or face of the customer. So when
Right.
they see women are there and they feel that diversity is very important in today's world, and they give us a lot more credit and lot more
Mhm.
opportunities. So for example, मैं अभी Amazon में हूँ, and बहुत सारे ऐसे events होते हैं which are only focused on women. And whenever any
Wow.
such event is happening, and because my team currently has only, I mean, earlier I was the only female in my team, and now I have another
Wow.
female TAM joining in. But earlier it was like by default, if any women events are happening, women related events are happening, my manager would always recommend my name as a first one, that she has to definitely go, right? It is
Yeah.
like that. So I think I feel privileged in that way, over and above
Absolutely.
all the other men who are working in my team. But yes, I have faced challenges. I'm not saying that I've not faced any challenges in my
Yeah.
professional life, but I think I feel very, appreciative of what all support I have got from everyone in all my companies that I have worked in. And I've never felt that, I was not promoted or I was not given a chance just because I was a woman. There has been
Wow.
some other reasons which may be fair, which
Yeah.
may not be fair, but it has never been a reason because I'm a woman, I'm not given a chance, which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So basically, you are a blessed professional, I would say.
Yeah, I think one thing to everyone who is aspiring to become a professional or do presentations or being the face is, I think one thing which really helps me every time is having a confidence that I'm ready, I can do it. When you
Hmm.
show the confidence, the other person also gets the confidence that she can
Right.
do it. But if you are
Absolutely.
not confident enough, if you say
Hmm.
that I'm not sure if I would be able to do it, then other
Right.
person also loses a confidence in you. So I think
Perfect.
there has been times when I was put into a scenario that, the other person is not available. Would you be able to support in this scenario? So for
Hmm.
example, a training is happening, and the other person has some personal issues and they cannot do this training, or they cannot be presenter for a subject. So, and then people ask me, would you be able to do in this scenario? And I have said yes without even knowing what is the topic. And I think,
So
okay, दो
basically,
दिन में I will prepare and I'll do it,
yeah.
and देखा जाएगा. I think the only strategy
So
which
the
I
never
follow,
say no, never say
never
no
say
वाला
not,
attitude आपने
no, no,
रखा.
not never say no. But I think if I find the opportunity interesting, I feel
Yeah.
that somehow I will be able to do it. अब वो अच्छा होगा या
Right.
बुरा होगा, वो बाद में देखेंगे. Let's jump. So I think I jump into the river
Perfect.
and then I learn how to swim. So it's the other
Swim.
way around.
Wow.
Most of the people first learn swimming and then they, jump into the river. I'm the
Yeah,
other
jump.
way around person.
Wow, that's a takeaway for me, in fact, I would say कि मैं आज भी मतलब coming from a media background, I still hesitate at some points कि नहीं नहीं शायद मैं ये नहीं कर पाऊंगी या मुझसे नहीं होगा, but this is a great takeaway for me, and I'm sure हमारे लिसनर्स को भी एक बहुत ही इंस्पायरिंग चीजें सुनने को मिल रही होंगी. एक और एक क्वेश्चन मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा है, हाउ आर योर फैमिली डायनामिक्स? इफ आई टॉक अबाउट फैमिली डायनामिक्स, आई वांट टू नो अबाउट योर चिल्ड्रन and partner, how supportive they are. And a very important question I have in my mind, but I'll ask that later. First, I really want to know about how does your family support you?
So guys, you have seen the banners. I have twins, two boys,
Yes.
super naughty and super cute also. They are my monsters. They irritate me to the core and they love me to the core. So it's both way rounds. But when I heard the news कि मुझे twins होने वाले हैं, it was a shock for me and my husband both. We both live alone in Mumbai, right? We
Yeah,
have support from our family, but because they are living in the native town, eventually at the end of the day it was only both of us who has to manage the kids. So between the
absolutely.
initial 2 years to 5 years was a really really difficult time, and still thank my manager, because when they got to know that I'm pregnant with twins, they gave me additional paid leave, maternity leave. They were very
Yeah,
supportive of, take as much break as you want, there is no hurry to join back. Even when I joined back, one of my managers, his name is Pratik Katkar, he said we have an opportunity where the team is sitting in Bangalore and you can work from home completely. So he nominated my
Wow.
name to be the person to work from home. And I worked from home for almost 7 years. It was
Yeah.
frustrating sometimes to work from home because you get very less enthusiastic to work and all. But I feel it as a blessing because I was able to take care of the kids while my husband
Right.
was working and he was still being supportive. And then there was a time in my life when, one of my idol managers is, he left the firm. He said he is now leaving for a new opportunity.
Right.
And I realized that I have been very stale in my career because of kids, because of marriage. Although I was
Right.
happy with the kind of work that I was getting, but
Hmm.
still, stuck to one company for almost 9 years was a huge thing. I was not moving forward at a space that I want to move. So I decided that let me, now switch. And that time, my husband, he was working in a very stable job. He was not working too very late hours, and he was in a controlled environment. So he said, now
Right.
is the time I will take care of the kids. Like for the past 7 years, you were the, one person army who was making sure everything is working fine at home and I'm doing my
Right.
job. And now let me take that seat and you go ahead and live your dreams. I think then eventually I started giving the interviews. I got selected in Amazon, which was again a very huge shock for me. I was not expecting my dream company to recruit me. And my journey started. Again, initial 1 year at Amazon was like very pressureful. I mean, it was a very different environment. I've not worked, new environment, new things to learn. But after that 1 year, I got accustomed how to work, what is the environment, and then it has been a smooth journey after that. But I think
Right.
this is how my journey has been so far, which and I think I'm going with the flow. I never
Hmm.
thought that there is one position or this is one thing that I want to achieve in my life. I don't have that. I'm seriously not a person who make too bigger plans for my life. I want to become this or I want to become that or I want to attain this
Okay.
position. I think I just take on whatever opportunity is given, and I think I just do that कि अगर कोई opportunity दिख रही है and I just feel कि this is something which could interest me, I just grab it without thinking too much कि इसका कुछ benefit होगा कि obstacle रहेंगे या कुछ रहेगा.
Right.
Although I have few mentors in my life, in professional life, and they are the people whom I reach out to take any decision, and they give me the right
Mm.
advice. But I think I just grab the opportunity and go with it without thinking too much, and that is my mantra. Because I don't know if I'm making the plans whether they would be successful or not, how much I want to work more. Because sometimes what happens is there's always a guilt. When I'm working too much, I don't know if I'm giving too because my kids are growing up and there's a fear that
Yeah.
once they grow up, they would not have time for me. And then all
Absolutely.
the other
Yeah.
mature parents keep telling me that you need to give them time right now. I mean, your work you can do later also, but this is the time you should give more time to your kids. Once they grow up,
Right.
they will have their friends, they would have their own life, and they would not be there for you to see them growing up. So I think this is one guilt which is always there. So I
Yeah.
definitely take more leaves. I love traveling. So I take all my leaves. I don't have spare leaves any point of time. And we
Yeah.
take a lot of vacations so that we can spend that time with the kids. And COVID has given another opportunity to be with the kids all the time.
Right.
Because I only travel 2 to 3 days a week. Rest of the time I am at home. My husband is at
Yeah.
home. So we are giving them that kind of family environment which was earlier missing before COVID at least.
Right.
So I think
Right.
although COVID has been a disaster and tough time for many people, for me it has
But it
been
has
good.
done good to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in fact, I would say, because I have been seeing you from so many years, before COVID, you knew and you have been enjoying this work from home environment, right? For
Mm.
so many years. So that must also have helped you in, spending time with Ansh and Vansh.
I think no, because what happens is when you are working, and if I'm alone at home, so I'll tell you,
Yeah.
when I'm alone at home and kids are at home, and when they are very small, you consistently need some person like a maid or a caretaker to look after the kids.
Yeah.
And in India, people say we get the maids very easily, but believe me, that is the biggest
No.
headache of your life. I For 2 years, I suffered having the maids, taking care of the kids, and every 3 months, a new maid coming in, and kids getting accustomed to that, and then teaching them how to behave with the kids was becoming a mental challenge for me. I mean, I was losing my mental peace, and me and my husband, we decided that instead of having the maids who are not literate, they don't know anything, not teaching kids, we actually, after 1.5 year, we put them in daycares. So
Yeah,
in the morning they will go to school, from school they will directly go to the daycare, and in the evening me or my husband will pick up the kids from daycare. So
yeah,
it was like 12 to 13 hours kids were completely away from home, although I was working
yeah.
from home, because I cannot
Right,
work from home if consistently kid is crying right at the back.
right,
So it used to become very disturbing. So even I was working from home, I still was having my kids, going to the daycare. So COVID have, now my husband is at home and me at home. So if I'm in the call, he can take care of the kids. If he's in the call, I can take. So in that way, and plus the kids have grown a little bit more, like they are 9 years
yes,
now. So we had the liberty of, stopping their daycare and they being at home all the time. And they're very
right.
happy about it. So this is how
Yeah, I
we manage our work, life, and the kids.
Wow, that's lovely. How, in fact, we all really appreciate you and my brother, that how you guys are managing the family and work all together, and it's really been great to have you as our family and as an inspiration to us, and now for so many other women and people out there. So,
Thank
Bhabhi, one last question I really wanted to ask is, are you still greedy for work? Because being a
I
professional,
am.
we definitely want, us to, see ourselves somewhere at some point of time. So, this was my last question, and really wanted to know that how, how will you weight that greed?
I think I'm a Gemini, and by my trait, I'm a person who gets bored very easily. I don't
Yeah.
like monotony in my life. So if my work, if I'm in doing something which I have been doing for quite some time, I really get bored if there's nothing new to learn in that. So I always aspire to do something new in that work. There are certain aspirations, there are certain roles which I definitely want to go for, but I think I'm in the path of preparing for those roles. But
Okay.
I'll still accept, because of the guilt of not spending too much time with the kids, or sometimes the guilt of my health not being too good as I
Right.
want it to be. The COVID has an impact on my health, and I had thyroid and certain other problems which has affected my health
Right.
drastically, with weight gains and all, which I'm still struggling. uh, but still, I think I still want to work. I cannot sit at home, that is one thing. I want to
Yeah.
work as long as I can and my health permits me. But I think it is also important to take a break sometime, to give yourself and your family some time. So I think that is the only message which I would like to give, that it is okay to take a break, it is okay to have some me time. And I think when I travel for my work and I'm alone, I think that is the biggest me time that I get. I'm alone.
Absolutely.
Either I meet my friends in that city, or I'll just spend the time with myself. I'll watch the videos, I'll read, I'll do anything that I want to do without getting disturbed, because kids need my attention that time. So that is,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So it was lovely listening to your story, Bhavi, and I'm sure so many women are going to get inspired by your story and make their story unfiltered for their future, maybe. So thank you so much to our listeners for joining us today. And this was our very first episode of Stree Unfiltered. And stay tuned. Please share this video with your friends and family, whoever you think can, benefit by watching us and watching these lovely stories and get inspired by them. So please do share and do like our channel on Facebook and Instagram and on YouTube, and see you again later with my story in the next episode.
Stay
Bye.
tuned. Thank you. Bye.